What's up, guys and gals? This is Griever back here, bringing you guys an extremely echoey, might be able to fix that in post, not sure yet, behind the bar reviews for One Piece! One Piece chapter 981. The reason for the big echo, of course, is because the drywall is finished in the basement here, but the flooring is still ripped up and stuff, and believe it or not, that creates a very massive echo. I don't really understand the science as to why, it just does. So, with that being said, though, let's just get into chapter 981. And no break next week. Finally, it feels like the world is slowly going back to normal. Stores are opening, barber shops, that kind of stuff. People are still doing the wearing masks and social distancing, but it seems like even manga kind of took a hit for a while. Everything seemed to be on break and not major things were happening. But finally, it seems like we're back to getting to some regular stuff. And it's really nice to see. We get a nice color page here, lots of blues and oranges. Luffy, Nami, Zoro, Sanji, Chopper, they're all there with some animals sort of idea. I don't know if it's supposed to have a deeper meaning sort of idea, but they're kind of at a club. Sanji's kind of doing the disc jockey sort of idea. There's some vinyls there. It's just a nice, fun color thing. There's something about music being something that all languages can hear and understand sort of idea. It doesn't matter what language you speak. So I think Oda is just, giving us a nice, message in that cover page. But either way, we're jumping right back to when Kid at the end of the last chapter just completely punk bang against Apu, against Scratchman Apu. And here we get a little more information about how his devil fruit works and stuff. To me, it still seems a little OP, so I'm thinking there's got to be another sort of semi way around it, a bit of a weakness sort of idea, because it just seems kind of odd. Though then again, the logistics of not hearing the whole sound, I'm sure there's, ways around that in other ways I'm probably not thinking of. But either way here, what we get is Kid attacks him and basically it tells him, I should have known. It was too good to be true that you would be right on board. You were so proactive about this. You wanted to have a pirate alliance, all this crap. Apu brings up a really good point, though. And it's something that I guess he was already Kaido's informant by that time. Fine dandy, but the other thing, so a lot of people for a long time thought it was just bad luck. Kaido dropping off the Sky Island right in the middle of their meeting and stuff, that was just really bad luck. However, no, that wasn't the case, right? That was not the case. That's not what happened. It seemed to be orchestrated. It seemed to be planned. But back then, we didn't really know too much about Kaido, and now we're seeing Kaido in different lights with this Wano arc. We see that he's got he's not just some big dumb brute like Edward Weevil or something like that. He's got a bit of a head on his shoulders. He's stayed in power for years, so it leads to that thing that he would actually, be more than just a big, drunk, I'm just going to smash, Hulk smash sort of attitude, right? The other thing here is that, as I said, Apu makes a really good point saying, wake up, man. You think a couple of supernovas getting together, that a pirate alliance, oh yeah, and all of a sudden that was all that we were missing? Like 2 supernovas equal a Yonko? Are you kidding? Even 3? Are you kidding me right now? You thought that would tip the scales. You thought that with your power and my power and stuff, I'm surprised you didn't bring this up, but it's kind of like, wake up. Not only 2 years ago, we all ran from one admiral. The entire worst generation, all the supernovas, not Blackbeard, but Blackbeard's a worst generation, not a supernova, but all the supernovas were there at one time, and there was one admiral, and we all ran for the hills. We all pieced out. If there's not that they were all working in tandem, but it's just kind of I get where Apu's coming from. He's like, you think that teaming up with me and Hawkins was going to make us, oh yeah, we can take down one of the 4 emperors? Man, they have been ruling the seas. The strongest part, the greatest part of the New World, of the Grand Line, they are there in the New World, and they control it. And the reason they've controlled it for this goddamn long is because no one's been able to take them down. You think that just tipping the scales like this, it doesn't tip the scales that way. It's like, wake up, man. And I'm kind of like, okay, Not that I think Apu's a good guy or anything, but I think he kind of had a bit of a point. Though, I don't know. It just seemed like from Scratchman Apu's logic there, it seemed he's got a bit of a point either way. But suffice to say, Apu decides to attack Kid anyways. Using that like slash or scratch feature that he used against Zoro in the last chapter. And he goes, haha, like, I thought you were dead anyways, kid. And he calls him trash. And they're going to fight a little more. Doesn't really happen because the numbers get involved. Hacha, which I believe represents number 8 in, the numbers crew, seems to be, according to Kid, seems to be a giant but not a giant sort of idea. Like, this thing is far bigger than a giant. But clearly, like, what is it sort of idea? It's not exactly the size of Oars or Oars Jr., so a lot of people have theories that these are part of the ancient giants. Maybe these are hybrids of some way, shape, or form, half-breeds, something like that, to that effect. It's entirely possible. We just don't know. We'll probably get that information later on, likely in this arc, I would say, where the numbers are prominently now being featured. So Hacha seems to just be drunk and swinging the club any which way. Queen is kind of pissed, going like Babanuki has lied and all that such. We get a nice comedic scene that Luffy kind of protects Jaggy from an attack and says, all right, I knew you'd screw everything up, let's just head to the castle. And Zoro says, you actually kind of screwed everything up, Luffy, like you're one to talk. And then Kid's like, Zoro, you're one to talk. And then Killer's just there like, oh man, they are all such morons. And either after this, Killer seems to have some knowledge about how Scratchman Apu's devil fruit works, because he says when Apu was kind of gearing up for a boom attack, he says, quickly cover your ears, and they all cover their ears. Now, you and I both know very, very well that like the sound I could still hear. It just sounds really monotone and stuff. You can still hear, even with earplugs and headphones and stuff like that, like noise-canceling headphones, you can still make out general noise, right? So it appears, though, that this didn't affect them in any way. So I guess it's kind of like you have to be able to fully hear, kind of like turning a computer. Like if you go to your computer, however you're watching this video, if you were to turn that down really low and kind of walk out of the room, you probably couldn't make out what I was saying. Now, if you turn it up to normal volume, you could probably hear me outside of the other room. So I'm kind of taking it, it's like the volume almost matters, to the point that if you can't fully recognize and you're like hear the sound properly, then it doesn't affect you at all. It's either all or nothing sort of idea. I still like to think that there's other ways to dodge this ability and stuff, and he seems to be targeting people. Like, I'm not seeing any of the pleasures or any of the gifters. I don't see any of the waiters. I'm not seeing any of the other members of the crew being attacked. It just seems like he's able to focus this, but everybody else can hear it. So how does he pick his target? Does he need to have them in eyesight, and he just mentally decides, I'm going to attack all 4 of these people, but not the 5th guy on the left, not this guy? He can selectively attack them. It just seems, not that Scratchman Apu, once again, the Supernova had his devil fruit for a while, so he's probably trained up with it, similar to how Luffy has been able to utilize the Gummy Gummy no Mi in very unique and different ways. But once again, the only way to dodge his attacks and not get hurt is to cover your ears. That just seems OP to me. That tells me that he could just keep attacking Kaido or Big Mom. He just got to keep running away, and he's just got to keep attacking. Now, as we saw, it doesn't really work on someone like Kizaru, a Logia user. But barring a Logia user right now, there must be more limitations to this. Like, he either has a stamina or something. He can't just keep firing these attacks off. They get weaker. Distance, sound, frequency. There's got to be more to his devil fruit, because it seems pretty OP still in this chapter. Though covering your ears works, now you're going to have to rely on kicking attacks with your legs and stuff. And Scratchman Apu was smart. He'd be training up his physical body and his martial arts skills as well, so that it's kind of like, you have to, you lose 2 limbs, and a lot of people fight with their fists and, swords and all that stuff, and even bows and all that stuff. You have to do this, cover your ears, now you can only use your legs, kind of doing a Deku shoot style sort of idea here. Not that someone like Luffy or someone doesn't ever use his kicks or something like that, but it's kind of like if Scratchman Apu was smart, he would be training up his martial prowess so that when somebody does go, okay, I figured out your trick, haha, and then he's like, yeah, but now you're 2 limbs down and I still have all 4. Let's go toe to toe here, man. Hockey, armament hockey, let's do this. So I don't know. I just feel like there's got to be more to the fruit. There has to be some other trick or some other way to get around it, or something. I just feel that way. I mean, Killer was the one who said, "Cover your ears, guys," and it did seem to work very easily. And Apu was kind of pissed about that. You know, goes, damn. Sort of like, okay, he can't follow after them. So I don't know. But yeah, we might get more from him later. Either way, Killer explains all this to us and sort of says, like, when his attacks reach you, you know, no matter what, you're going to get hit sort of idea. And I'm just kind of like, that is really OP. We get a comedic scene where they're all just kind of like, what? You know, sort of idea, because they're still covering their ears. And they're like, what'd you say? Killer's like, oh, morons. We also see a quick thing where people are, Kid gets mad about this, of course, saying, yeah, hey, that's all these supernovas gathered on Onigashima. Hey, that's Killer. Did you know he's become a pleasure now? He had to eat one of the failed smile fruits and stuff like that. And we see that Orochi offered it to him. And people, Odin, like 20 years later, people are still listening to Orochi. Stop it. Stop listening to Orochi. Why would you think, hey, you want to save your captain? Eat this fruit for me. What? Why would Killer believe him? Why would he think that would work? And now he's got the laugh and stuff. Is this the reason, like, was part of the deal, like, we haven't seen the whole thing? Because it seemed like Killer didn't really know who he was when we first met him unmasked, facing down Zoro. So, and now all of a sudden he seems to have his wits about him. He's still going, fa, and all that stuff. But we're seeing a lot more of his, you know, inner monologue sort of idea, his inner dialogue and his thought process, and he still has all his wits about him. So I'm kind of curious here. Like, was he brainwashed in some way? Was it another devil fruit and he didn't even know he was Killer and stuff because he didn't seem to know who he was or anything like that when we were first encountering him, unless I missed a panel of dialogue between that fight against Zoro in the snow region. I think they were in the Ringo region, if I remember correctly, and up until now. So, but now Killer seems to, he's got his mask back, he seems to know who he is, he's still fa-fa-fa-fa-fa-ing, he's still got the fake devil fruit thing, the smile on him, but he seems to know who he is and all that stuff, but before it seemed like he did not. So I'm just curious, was that kind of part of the deal once he ate the fruit? Orochi was like, all right, now, if you go and track down, but how would he even know, I guess? Like, I just find it weird. He turned into an assassin for him. Did he say, okay, after 100 kills, I'll release your captain? 200 kills was another Odin thing? 5 years, you know? You work for me for 5 years, and I'll give you your captain back, sort of thing. Like, Odin 2.0 here or something? Like, I'm just wondering, what the hell are these guys thinking? Always listening to Orochi with no guarantees, nothing else. Like, why would you believe this guy? He's got all the cards. Why would he ever go, oh, yeah, well, you know, I have a full house, but here you go. You can have the third one. So now I only have 2 pair. Why would anybody give away their full house? Why would they do it? They just wouldn't. Oh, I have a royal flush. Here, you can have my ace. Now these cards don't, like, no, nobody would do that. So I'm really curious as to why these characters keep listening to Orochi, but I think we need a little more. I think we're missing that little bit of information tying back Killer to the point where he was acting as an assassin. I don't know. Either way, Kid gets really mad about that. He says, like, are you guys laughing at him? And they're like, not now, we gotta go. And they're all running around and stuff. Queen's just like, what is happening here? We see who's who. He's got a little band of people together, I guess. And he says, yeah, nah, I don't care about the supernovas. They're small fry and stuff. It seems like that's not our problem. We gotta go find Yamato, because the person who finds Yamato, that's the big thing. Like, capturing the supernovas does not guarantee me a chance to go and get a position of calamity. So let's go find Yamato. And then we jump into the second half of the chapter. Now here, the second half, we're kind of going over the plan once again. It seems like Oda really wants to hammer home how we're going to be doing this plan. Like, it's every chapter it seems like, the two armies have split off, and there's the Red Scabbards in Laws Machine, and they're going through the front door and stuff. It seems like he cannot do a single chapter without showcasing Onigashima and showing the arrows of where everybody's at for some reason. He seems to really want us to know where everyone is. I don't know if he's like trying to, that's a red herring sort of idea. He's really trying to, hammer home, this is where everybody is, this is where everybody is, and then go, but did you actually see everyone there? I don't know if he's doing that on purpose or not, but either way, that's like a whole page, just re-explaining what we already knew about the two armies splitting off and attacking and that kind of deal. After this, we see that they had outdated maps. Like, because Onigashima has been occupied for a long time now, and I guess Black Maria, the bigger woman from the Topiropo, has built up she seems to be part of the Pleasure Quarter, the Pleasure District, and she, I guess, built this place. It kind of looks a bit like a swamp, not really an oasis, but I guess it's, it kind of looks a little swamp-like to me. But once again, it's not in color. But either way, body of water is there, a lake or river or an oasis of some sort, and they have these long bridges going across in this building that's, basically a brothel. And Sanji is just completely pulled towards it. He's just like, ding, 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 hearts in the eyes. The whole simp that he is going forward to the brothel. In this way, Nami also mentioned to Kinemon, we better check it out sort of idea. I know you're really worried about Momonosuke, but you have to lead this army and stuff. Don't worry, we'll try to find him. That'll be our priority. You just focus on the battle. That kind of stuff. And that's kind of putting Kinemon's mind at ease. Sanji reappears from the brothel, just doom and gloom. And I thought, okay, maybe the brothel is filled, with BDSM, men, with the hairy chests and the, the cop hats or whatever, something like that, and really just the poor simp that can never catch a break sort of thing. I seem to remember him during the time skip sort of idea, that poor bastard. But either way, I guess that wasn't the case. There was nobody there. How the hell did he miss Big Mom in there? He walked in. Did he just look around the foyer, see nobody, and assume there were no women? Yeah, if this was Sanji, it'd be like Sonic the Hedgehog or the Roadrunner sort of idea, every single door open, zoom, 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 until he found a girl. So somehow he missed I think she's the largest woman in all of One Piece. Yeah, the largest woman that we know of, as far as I can just off the top of my head. Somehow he went into a brothel and came out missing the largest woman in One Piece. I don't know how that happens. How did he just go into the foyer, go, no girls, oh, my life sucks, not assuming they might be in the back or something like that? I don't know. Right away I thought that was really freaking odd. At first I thought it was funny, but then as we see, they say, yay, we can cross the bridge. So they're hauling ass, they're crossing the bridge and stuff. They're like, we haven't been spotted yet, this is fantastic. And then we see someone trying to open the shutters, and we know who's there because there was a scene before this that I kind of forgot to mention, that Big Mom was, of course, getting ready. We already knew this, but I guess this is where she was. She was in Black Maria's brothel area, and she was getting ready, and she was talking about the port and all this stuff, like her children. It's like, port? What port? And sort of idea. And there was this whole thing. I'm not really sure what they mean by the port thing. At the main port, I guess they could have been referring to the main port of Onigashima, or were they referring to the port of Wano? We know there's that secret entrance sort of idea that Apu kind of used. Maybe they were referring to something like that. Hard to say, but either way, she's been in contact with the Big Mom children, and in this chapter we do see them again, and they know all about the alliance with the Beast Pirates and such, so there is a whole thing going down there. But they don't seem very happy about it. They're like, first things first, we need to fix Big Mom's reputation, Mama's reputation. We need to take Straw Hat Luffy's head and stuff. We'll worry about the Beast Alliance later. So clearly the kids aren't very happy about it, and they start climbing the waterfall again. But before we get to that, once again, so Sanji misses the biggest woman in One Piece, somehow, while searching for women. Sanji, literally can't even simp correctly and search every nook and cranny for females. Somehow misses her. She opens the thing and Kinemon's like, who is that? Everybody, into the water, into the water. And thankfully they all get into the water in time. But once again, 2 problems here. Number 1, sorry, Chopper. I feel so bad for Chopper because even if he were to dive into the water, he's eaten a devil fruit. So he can't go in the water, even if he didn't have the tank. It's just hilarious that he's got his like miniature toy tank, like, yay, I'm, you know, like Fisher Price. Own your own little tank for little Timmy. You know, sort of idea. He literally, Chopper looks like he's driving a Looney Tunes tank. It's hilarious. But he's stuck right there, staring face to face with something that is going to haunt me tonight. Big Mom with the geisha makeup sort of thing. It just... Oh, ladies and gentlemen, that is one freaky, freaky visage. But either way, face to face with Big Mom and Chopper is just like, ah. Now, Chopper, if he's smart, will not be giving away anybody's position or anything like that. But I guess it's just one of those things where it's kind of like, okay, what's going to happen there? We're starting to see the pieces of the puzzle start to fall into place, and we're having an encounter with Big Mom. She seems to be ready. We haven't seen Kaido in this chapter, but the big thing to take away from this chapter is, of course, let's stop delaying. As I already kind of said, the Big Mom pirates are going up the waterfall again. Second time's a charm, isn't it? It's like, King won't be able to stop us here now. We're in an alliance. All right, we reached the top of the waterfall, and then they're like, oh God, what's that in the distance? What is that? And who is it? It's not King. And even Perisparrow's like, that's not King. Why is he here? And it's Marco the Phoenix. And it's like, Marco's here. Marco has arrived. Along with, and just, well, you know, you guys, you tried to get to the top, but nope. And slashes them back down. Once again, the Big Mom Shatcher just down into at the bottom of the waterfall once again. That poor ship has taken a lot of damage. That poor ship. I feel bad for the ship because honestly, not a whole lot of characters on there I truly care for. It's not like Katakuri's on there or anything. I guess Smoothie's okay, but you know, it's Mondor and Flompet. Like, let's see her pop like a balloon or just literally just get stomped on or drown. Please, like, how do all these characters that have devil fruits literally end up at the bottom of a waterfall and none of them have yet to drown? Like, please, drown some of them. My God. Either way, so that's the thing. And I guess I was totally off kilter. I don't know why I thought Daifuku was in the last one. I guess it's just a buzz cut, you know, sort of idea. But I guess so. The Big Mom Pirates, none of them had even shown up yet to Onigashima at this point. We confirmed that this chapter, and it doesn't look like they're going to. Marco even says, like, by the time you guys climb back up here, the age might have changed, you know, because they're doing a big thing. Big Mom and Kaido in an alliance, and Marco knows about it, but he's like, we've shown up now. And the Straw Hat, like, half of the worst generation is here. You got 2 of the Yonko with, the almost entirety of one of the Yonko crew. The other crew kind of now at the bottom of a waterfall, but still. But you got half the worst generation in their crews. You've got all the samurai of Wano, and now you've got Marco. And it seems like Nekomamushi's coming up there. We only see kind of silhouette, like just cut off sort of idea, but Nekomamushi's there, and so is Izo. I haven't seen him in action since the war. Now, which war is he referring to? The Payback War or Marineford War? Hard to say. Hard to say which war he's referring to because the Payback War I still have questions about. I feel like that's what Big News Morgan's sent out. That the Blackbeard Pirates crushing defeat against the former Whitebeard Pirates. But it doesn't seem like any of them so far, like Marco, seemed to be in perfectly good health. So, and you'd think if they had a crushing defeat, that the Phoenix Fruit, you don't think Blackbeard would have taken the Phoenix Fruit from Marco? And, like, so, I don't know. I got questions about the Payback War. I'm thinking the Payback War didn't exactly go off like an all-out battle. I doubt that, like, they were probably deceived or there was something else going on, you know? So, anyways, but either way, it doesn't matter which war. Izo clearly hasn't seen Marco in about a year, by the sounds of it, at the very least. And for all we know, and I'm really hoping, is he showing up there? Is So they found Izo somehow. Nekomamushi did arrive in time, a little late, but just like Jinbei, just a little late. And it's still, when it counts, they've shown up. Nekomamushi is here, so now the Scabbards are all together again. And we've got friggin', if they found Izo and they convinced Marco, what about the others? Vista? Jozu? Whitey Bay? Like, are any of them going to show up? Like, that would be really cool if, because we only see a quick shot of them here at the end, but maybe next chapter, or we probably will jump away from them for next chapter and stuff. So, but maybe that's what Oda's waiting for. The big 1,000 is the entire, like, Nekomamushi and his crew show up, and it's like, haha, and then standing in front of them are, like, all the former Whitebeard pirates. Like, you get, like, all the division commanders standing there once again, just kind of like, yeah, you know, and I was like, whoa, all right, now Marco in charge. Okay, we have Marco the Phoenix. I mean, okay, now we might stand a chance here. Marco can probably, in my mind, Marco can go toe-to-toe with just about everybody in Wano right now, you know. So, barring, I guess, like Big Mom and Kaido is a little bit iffy. But Marco is definitely top-tier fighting capabilities, as we know. Even the Gorosei thought, like, okay, well, who's going to take out Blackbeard? One of the other Yonko or Marco. Like, even they were like, they didn't mention Katakuri. They mentioned Marco specifically. Like, maybe Marco the Phoenix could do it. So, I mean, he garners a lot of respect and stuff, and we've already seen him in full form battling out against Kizaru in the Marineford War. So, I mean, this ending part of the chapter was super, super hype. Marco's here, Nekomamushi, Izo. This is really cool. And now, as I said, we'll probably jump away from them for a while, but now we know that the Big Mom Pirates will not be showing up to the battle. If they do, they will be too late. So now, this is really good for our side, because now the fighting force, Big Mom is there, sure, and she's an army upon herself, but they're lacking in some of the most troublesome, like Perospero and stuff like that. They're lacking in having to fight against, you know, Daifuku and Smoothie and Perospero. I know some people will probably be disappointed that Smoothie still isn't getting any action as one of the Sweet Commanders and stuff, and we didn't really get a whole lot of her in Totland. But yeah, this is a really good sign for the Rebel Alliance. You know, what is this, Star Wars all of a sudden? Either way, the Rebel Alliance is now fighting on Onigashima, and I guess they're going to make their way there. So this is really, really cool, and I'm sure Izo knows the way to Onigashima, so they should be showing up pretty soon. I think Oda's really building up for this chapter 1,000. 1,000 chapters in One Piece. I mean, my God. So either way, guys, don't want to get on a whole tangent about that, but I'm really looking forward to this. I think these next chapters are just going to keep building the hype. We're going to have a bunch of moving pieces, but no break next week, as I said, as far as I could read. So this has been chapter 981, Echo Review of One Peace. Like, comment, and subscribe, ladies and gentlemen. It's always very much appreciated. And we will see you back here next time for chapter 982. What a chapter, guys. Drink responsibly as always, and we will see you back here next time.